There is some uncertainty about where the first self-replicating molecules came from. Maybe God put them on the Earth so that one day they would evolve into us. Or, and this is what a lot of people think, maybe God was guiding evolution. All the evidence we have suggests that mutation is blind, but maybe in our own case at least, God was guiding it. Or maybe it was guiding the selection pressures that governed competition, or both. Maybe evolution can run on its own, but in our case, God was nudging it in a humanward direction. Okay, that works. Religion and evolution look like they are compatible in that form. But God was guiding evolution is a hypothesis about history. It says that certain events happened in the past, and that prompts a few other questions. And for those questions, I'm going to turn over to one of my favourite YouTubers, the Messianic Manic. Are you there, Messianic Manic? It's me, Ollie.
If God really did create the universe with human beings in mind, it seems counterintuitive that he would do it through such a long process of space expansion, star formation, and evolution. Intuitively, one would expect God to have done it more efficiently. In response to this, religious folks will sometimes say, well, we really have no reason to expect God to be efficient. Perhaps God is like an artist who created the universe the way he did because it fits his aesthetic preferences. This view, however, makes it very difficult to incorporate the idea of God into scientific theories. If God is a quirky artist who can create the universe any way he wants to, according to whatever criteria suit his fancy, that seems to render the idea of God's intervention unfalsifiable. In order for an idea to be of any use to science, you have to be able to make predictions based on that idea that can be tested. How do you test the hypothesis that God created the universe if God created the universe in such a way that makes it indistinguishable from a universe that developed through an entirely undesigned, unintelligent process? In order for God or any other idea to be scientific, you have to be able to say, if this idea is true, we should see one thing. If it's false, we should see some other thing. If you want to incorporate God into the theory of evolution, you have to be able to say, if God is involved in evolution, we should see fossils or genes that look one particular way, and if God is not involved, we should see fossils or genes that look some other particular way. Science is all about predicting experience in this way. In order for the idea of God to be scientific, you have to be able to use the idea of God to make these kinds of predictions.
Thank you, Messianic Manic. So, this idea that God was controlling evolution is kind of problematic. Also, since we know that organisms can evolve on their own, isn't it simpler to say that they did, rather than suppose there's also this extra entity involved? Isn't that a bit like saying sunlight comes from the sun, but also there's a giant lamp in the sky? Well, the sun does all the explanatory work there. We don't need to bring the lamp in, and it just prompts further questions. Occam's Razor is going to recommend not believing in that. If you want to know more about Occam's Razor, I did a video on it a while ago, link in the description. So, evolution and theistic religion might not be the most rational combination. Which of course isn't to say that most rational means best, or that you shouldn't believe them both. If you think you can believe them both and it makes you happy to do that, then I do not want to use this video to piss on your chips. Most people just say that they go together without then having the discussion that follows. I just wanted to pull on that thread a little bit. People ask me who I recommend on YouTube for philosophy, and they're always asking me to do more about God. Well, if the philosophy of religion is your bag, then check out the Messianic Manic. His videos are very, very clear, and they're very good, particularly if you like your discussions to be a little more polemical than mine usually are. What do you guys think? Are theistic religion and evolution compatible? Do you believe in both? And if so, how do you make it work? My thanks again to the Messianic Manic for taking part in this collaboration. It was really fun working with you, and for more philosophical videos every Friday, please subscribe. Darwin didn't know how variation and inheritance worked, but we do. Apparently not. No, we don't. It's a mystery. No one knows.